recruit staff better with telling them how to read CVs, and he thinks it's far too specific. And he suggested, like, this is only a suggestion, and he said you could be like, if you look at companies like Accenture and Deloitte, so they're consultancy firms. He's thinking this could be a potential idea. So to provide a website where companies have an account and we can provide recruitment advice on improving efficiency, and you can target why they're not recruiting staff. So the first stage of actually getting the staff, not the bit of actually during the recruitment process, but getting the staff in. And this could be due to how they advertise their job roles. So their social media, if we look specifically at social media strategy, are they using Twitter? Are they using LinkedIn? Are they using, and if they could be using the wrong strategy, they could be looking for their recruitment on Facebook, and that could be a totally wrong strategy. And it also affects their image, and are they attracting the right people? So one thing I think we need to specifically look at is, are we going to look at graduates, experienced professionals, or school leavers? And I think we really need to target one of those three. And so I looked at the graduate's perspective and how we look for jobs and why we choose a company to apply for. So so they need to have a how they're advertising their brand and what is the image of their brand. If they don't have a good brand image, you're not going to apply for their company, or initially anyway. And so I think a good service would be looking at their social media strategy, rather than, and why not base it on reading CVs, because there's so many other companies doing this. You can find it on the internet anyway already, so I don't think a company will pay like a monthly bill for this. And so you can find it anywhere on the internet, that's why we should do that.
Okay. Anyone else had any thoughts, or had any thoughts coming out?
Is the idea of that then that you filter out better candidates,
so
to propose them to
so you get the right people in to apply for your job, rather than teaching them how to get the candidates once they've already applied, kind of thing. So it's getting them to come and apply.
So you're talking more about
getting the
recruitment rather than the selection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the selection, you can find stuff on the internet about how
I would
to
agree with that, because we're not doing selecting stuff, we're doing recruiting stuff.
There's no harm in having too many applicants.
No.
So
So a company might come to you who are not recruiting well, or they're having bad performance, and they go to consultancy firms like Accenture and Deloitte.
So it's more about the recruitment than the actual selection process.
Yeah.
So it's about where they recruit and who they recruit to,
and their strategy,
and when, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I've just read something I haven't read before quickly, which was the market for your product is likely to be line managers or HR departments looking for a product to add into their in-house website. So I'm guessing whatever we're going to do is going to be something like an intranet thing, where they have it on their website, or they have it on within their company. So it's almost an internal thing just for the company. So we've got to think about that as well. But it's not. It's not like we're not doing something like a social media, like Facebook or something, where everyone can see it. It's just specific. You were going to say something?
No.
I was going to say that kind of changes what we talked about the other day, in going for the small firms like HR departments, if they're saying that they're going to be sold to.
Yeah, I guess it's likely to be line manager, HR department. I guess there's a leeway for us, and we have the choice, seeing as we can market the product to whoever we want to do. But I guess the investors and the other guys are going to be specific, because they'll know what the requirements of this module are. So they'll know if we say we're looking to do it in small companies, they might ask us, but they don't have HR departments, something like that. But we'd have to work around that. So it's up to us. I mean, it is really free. We can always ask Jack when he comes in if we have some leniency towards them. Okay. Anyone got any positives for doing a DVD?
So that what was the choice that we came to in last week's session?
Okay. So the two main topics are a DVD, so like a video that is a management training DVD. So like we'd sit into a room like this, and we could be talking about recruitment, and we'd film it and put it on their website to help the company understand more about how to recruit staff. Or the other idea, or the other option, is to create a computer software like a website or like a use of an app, which is also a good idea, which will help the company also do management training, but it's more of the idea with that, it's more of a subscription, like Mike said, like an account, where a DVD is a one-off, like a gift almost, like here's £200, here's your DVD, that's not updated, that's just like a video of some actors doing management training for recruiting staff, and the computer software is more about being updated all the time, and can reach a load of different people, and it'd be online, which is more up to date, I feel. But what was your understanding of it?
No, I thought you were asking us what decision you'd come to last week. I thought you'd already chosen.
Well,
from that meeting, that was.
Yeah, we hadn't 100% chosen because 3 of us right now, so it'd be a bit harsh to do that. And that's why the start of this meeting was going to be all about what you guys thought. If you guys had like a real strong desire for something else.
Software's probably better than.
Thought software.
Because it's a bit dated now, isn't it, DVD? And it doesn't allow for updates, as you say.
Yeah.
Once you've watched it, you've watched it, kind of thing. And
if you disagree with it, you can't really.
And I don't know if you've ever when you go for jobs and that, and you have to sit and watch their 45-minute HR DVD in a room on your own, and you just have to sit there and watch it, but it's so. You don't take it in.
You're used to clicking online and doing that.
Yeah, well, at least if you've got you have to give an answer and actually put an input, whereas if it's DVD, you just switch off, you don't. It's always the same thing, it's like the safety video or whatever like that.
And just to remind everyone, we're targeting, as Mike said, we're going to find a specific group, whether it's graduates or line managers or whoever we're targeting. The main idea is that we're not doing it for the interviewee, we're doing it for the interviewer almost. So we're doing it for the people that want to recruit rather than the people that want to be recruited.
So I think if we look at graduates, what Mike said might be quite a good idea, because obviously there's been a huge increase in social media in the last however many years.
Yeah.
And so obviously that's how graduates are going to be finding jobs nowadays, is through LinkedIn and stuff like that.
What options would you say graduates?
So there could be graduates, even school leavers, or just experienced professionals who are looking for another job. But I think it's quite a good idea looking at, if a company's not recruiting properly, you can look at the whole process of them trying to get the person to click apply, because they can go from what I've got written down here is, even if they recognise your brand and they go on your website, they might not be clicking recruit because the job spec might not be clear.
Might not even be there. Might not even be there.
Yeah, and
it might be like phone up or something if you want job spec.
From personal experience, I guess doing graduates is quite good because you can relate it to us in a way when we've applied to jobs. And from personal experience, I found, for example, HSBC, their website is really unclear to find, so I didn't apply in the end. Which it just wasn't feasible.
Also, along with that, a lot of companies are now doing a lot more internships and graduate schemes, because they value, even if it's just a 1-year thing. Like my friend worked for Deloitte just for a year. It was in his gap year, but it was called a graduate scheme. So in the sense that once he came out of university, he could go back into them and go up the ladder quicker. And he would never have found that if there wasn't a scheme. And he researched that and found it. And it's the same with some of the stuff I've been applying to, and I know you got IBM. But the process is fairly similar. And I think it's quite a good market to go into. Any other ideas for... so we've got graduates as one idea. What other things could we look at?
Like experienced professionals looking for another job is a good one as well.
So like experience...
with all the redundancies as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The reason we have to choose between one and the other is because the recruitment process is totally different.
Yeah.
And
it might as well be specific.
How you advertise the job is totally different.
Yeah, it might be
if we do choose, why don't we choose one that's more sort of targeted towards us, because we'll be looking for jobs when we leave. Then we can give it our perspective as well. Although that might be the wrong side of the coin, at least you've got that perspective.
So
if we go for graduate.
Yeah, if you say graduate, you just mean graduate schemes.
We could either look at it at graduate schemes or even just placement schemes, so we could look at it as undergraduate.
So, but a scheme rather than any vacancy.
Does it matter? If it's a vacancy,
Um,
as long as it's not like it's not a graduate job because you're just going to work at Tesco. But if it's a job, like a
Within
career
a professional job,
yeah,
yeah.
not a
Yeah.
not a
Not like it's part-time or something.
Yeah.
I think when we say graduate, we should probably look at just that age bracket, because obviously that's what you're marketing to.
yeah.
So that age bracket going into the professional industry.
What would appeal to them? Is that what you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Because obviously it's going to differ between a 21, 22-year-old and a 40, 45-year-old.
Yeah, of course. So I think is everyone in agreement that we need to be specific in terms of like what Mike's brought to the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. And currently, what people's thoughts on the graduate, if we're doing graduate, or if you prefer to do professionals, or prefer to do whatever other options you thought of.
I think graduate's definitely the best.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because we can relate to it.
So that's better.
Anyone opposed to that? Anyone got any objections?
No, I think that's the best.
Yeah. All right. So should we say then that we're happy to do a website and also focus on graduates, and one of the benefits I feel with doing graduates would be that we can look at age diversity, everything that Tim posted on Facebook, with the research that he carried out, with all the different legal stuff, will be beneficial. So when we're looking at age, sex, all the different issues, that would be coming to quite handy, because companies may just be looking at, I don't know, graduates from red brick universities, or graduates that have come out with a first, or graduates that, so that all comes under diversity, doesn't it? And trying to fill your workforce with the most diverse and best quality. So that's something to look at as we go into the next stage. Ben, seeing as if we don't mind moving just out of that, just in terms of our financial stuff, have you had a chance to look at anything?
No, I haven't.
That's fine. If you turn to page 17, I'm a bit lost with numbers, and we have to do a budget, borrowing and revenue projection. And Jeff, can we just get some input into this briefly? When we're getting paid per hour for all our group meetings, we put that in the actual, the activities. But before that, we should have created like an expected how much we wanted to spend, and how much, like if there is a leeway. Is that the idea?
Yeah, you have a plan
Okay.
in terms of how you want to spend your money, and then you see whether the plan matches up to what reality.
Well, should that plan have already been done?
Yeah, you should be thinking
Yeah, I
now
think
about
that's
your
right. That's
right, okay.
expectations in terms of those things. And there's two of them. There's one for what you're doing now, which is the development of the prototype, and then there's the second one, which is the development of the product itself.
Sure.
Right. So the budget of 7,000 for the.
For the prototype. Pardon? Yes, you can see me when I pretend to be the bank manager, and tell me your plan.
But
It's just a way of keeping some kind of control over spending.
Is this time billable now as part of the budget for the whole thing, or is this before we've chosen? Because this is before we've chosen the product. Is this not billable then?
This is totally billable.
Right.
Yeah. Because as soon as the program started,
Right.
you're billed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've kept track of obviously the group meetings we've had, and that's the main thing that we'll be charged for at the moment. And or Tim's